Okay, so floor is in. This side is actually in, and they actually cleaned up the welds a lot. I'm happy. It's in pretty good shape. Over here it's cleaned up. Got most of this side cleaned up. This side, it's been a couple of days I've been working on this. We'll talk about that in a second. But this side, the welds are in place, but I haven't cleaned them up, so it looks fine. I mean, I'm no welder. Again, I'm better at welding now. At least I recognize what I'm doing and know enough to know that I'm not good. So that's good. But it's solid. It's good enough because it ain't moving. So I'm not worried about it. So, I'm happy with that. I'm going to finish cleaning this up. And really, I can go to, honestly, kind of do some epoxy down on this thing and kind of starting to move towards a little bit more finish work. But here's the problem. I put the seat risers in. And I didn't obviously install them, but I set them in place. And they're good side to side. The measurements are good. But I had the same problem other people have, where it seems to kind of run up here towards the transmission tunnel from side to side here. It's about 3/16 of an inch higher on this end because it's just not laying flat here in the front in some spots. I am not the only one that's had this trouble. There's definitely been some fitment issues. Overall, it fits fine. But there's been some fitment issues as far as it being completely good. So one thing I was figuring I'm going to have to tackle that and probably deal with that and do some whatever with these seat risers. That's the back, of course that's the front, right? But instead of doing that, I got to thinking, I was like, I'm a pretty big dude and I sure would like to be able to drive the car that I'm building, right? So let me go get, this dog, he's going to eat this seat. But let me go get a piece of crap seat out of the shed. And hey, leave it. Leave it. It doesn't need your help. It's already bad enough. And let me just set it in place. So I did. I set it in place. Nothing bolted down, but I had to set it in place. And I'm telling you what, I am pouring myself in. It's helping me a little bit. I'm too poor to buy a tilt steering wheel, so I won't be doing that. I do have to get a new steering wheel at some point, or a steering column. But I might look to get a little smaller wheel, number one. I was thinking about pulling this thing back since it's not in. Just give me a little bit more legroom. Legroom is really not the big issue. It's the height. I mean, I'm near 6'7", right? So I'm huge. Ford didn't build these things for me. So I think there is modification. I know you can get, I think the convertibles from like 68 on or something like that. Something along those lines have a shorter seat pan. And so I was like, oh, I guess I can order a couple of those because they fit. They're not as tall from what I understand. I said, or I could, take an inch off, front and back, and just reform this and go to work on that. If I do a terrible job, then I can go back. Plan B is to spend the money and get the other seat risers. But I think I'm going to see about doing the work and doing that because I think just bringing this down is going to fix most of my problems. It really will, as far as what I got going on. And it's like, now's the time to do it. So I think that's what I'm going to work on. But as far as this little section of video, I'm going to call the floor good enough. I'm not going to worry about bringing back and showing my grinding being part of it. I think the next thing I'll talk about on this floor will be probably installing the seat risers. But really the next thing, my next project is probably just going to go and work on these and see what I can do cutting and fabricating wise. I just think I'm just going to take an inch off. That's what I'm going to do. I don't know. I'm going to do that and see how that goes. We'll see. I don't know. Okay, Helios. Yep, floor can hold a little pig now. Awesome, right? Okay, so crazy idea time. I can take these seat risers, and I got about an inch of space up in here, from here at my thumb, right? So that means I can shorten it, because I want to maintain this structural piece here. I don't want to jack around with that any, right? This is the bottom side. I don't want to mess with any of this stuff either, right? The reinforcement brackets. I want all that stuff to still exist. So this is what I'm thinking. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to just cut right here, right along, because it bends a little. Even here, it's got a little bit of a flange, right? I'm going to bend that. I'm going to cut that all the way across and cut it all the way off right here on this flange. This will have to come off because it'll be in the way. But then I'm going to take this cut piece and I'm going to transfer it up to essentially this line. This is 1 inch from here to here. That's 1 inch. I'll show you. I'm saying that's the most that I can actually move it up, right? So this line now becomes this new interior piece. And just move the whole freaking thing. Cut this off, move it up. This line won't be the right line, but then put it in place, clean it up, put it in place, re-weld, and then cut off the excess. I don't know. That's what I'm going to do. So if I screw all this up, I get the other shorter seat pans that I was talking about, and I spend the money of that. But this is going to be my first attempt. We're going to see how that goes. Okay, so look, we've upgraded. I got my vise here. So I got it onto my piece of plywood that is on sawhorses, and that's now a work table. That's an upgrade from the trash can. I'm just saying. I had it sitting on the trash can when I was doing door hinges before. But, so it's an upgrade because we cleaned up a little bit. Now I had stuff in the way because I got my grandparents' kitchen table that's sitting here that I have to take to North Carolina tomorrow. But I pulled it in out of my truck so it wouldn't get rained on. So you're welcome, Mom and Dad. Anyways, taking that to them. So that's in the way, but whatever. I now have this there. I got this sitting here. So we got us a nice work light, but now we'll take and drill out these spot welds so I can take this bracket off so that it can be relocated. And before I commit to the exact height, I'm just going to basically take this thing and move it all the way up that I can, and we'll note where that is now, because essentially I just want to maintain this same look and feel, right? I want to be able to move this thing all the way up. So anyway, first step is take this off so that it can be relocated. Yeah, okay, pretty as a picture. That's all loose on this side. Now we just got to flip it over and do it again. All right, so, I got this off nice and clean. What I did was, I had it here, drilled an 1/8 inch hole, did a little bit more drilling on it. And then I put it in the vise here on this side and really clamped these two together because this piece seemed like it was bent out more than it should have. So anyways, got that off nice and clean, and I kind of just touch it with the grinder, but honestly it's in pretty good shape. Clean it up. Okay, so clamp this all up and put a mark on this side, right, all the way across. But I can, plan is just to come in here and cut it. I'm gonna try to make it as clean a cut as I can. And that's on flat metal, right? And then just take this flange and move it up as much as the bracket that I cut off over here will allow me to do. So let's see how that works for me. Okay, so we got this piece just cut off. And I should be able to just now take this piece and move it up, right? And reattach this flange. That's the plan. Okay, that's the flange. It's still the same flange like it's down there, right? I've just taken it off. Cleaned it up real nice. So now what I want to do is to be able to take said flange, right, and move it up and just reuse it and cut this wherever I'm going to decide to cut it, and then reattach the flange. But what I gotta do is when I make the cut, I got a little bit of a divot right here, so I wanna recreate that little divot. It's just a little bend, not much of a big deal, but just move the whole thing straight up and reattach. These are going to be in the way, right? So I'm thinking I'm just going to cut them off and get them out of the way. But then once I do that, I should be able to just reattach this flange straight up. I think I'll do that to the maximum, whatever I think this seat riser will let me do. But I'll bring you back and show you what I got going on. So this is what I did. I put some Clecos in place just to hold this thing back to where it came from. See it here and there, top. But I'm trying to figure out what these holes would be for. I don't think they're for anything. You know, this has got a bit of a bend up to it here, because I want to bring this whole thing in an inch, right, and cut this and where it's going to be 1 inch in. And I've got to modify this. I'm really trying to figure out what to do as far as maintaining these holes. Man, I don't know that they're not for anything. I mean, I can't for the life of me figure out what they're even for. These are obviously for the seats themselves, which, you know, you've got these holes here and there and lines up for it, but there's no kind of hole here. So why would they have those holes on the bottom of that bracket? I don't think I have to line it up on anything. So the reason I'm wondering all that is because I'm going to have to cut this bracket, and I think it'll be easier to maintain this up at the top, because this is straight, so I just cut some length off of here. So I think I'll start off by just cutting these brackets off. And then, yeah, I'll bring you back. I got to make a decision there, but we'll see what I come up with. Okay, so I got this thing all hacked up and cut, and it sits way, way, way lower. Only an inch lower, which is the plan, but it's a whole lot lower. Sitting pretty level. Had to kind of bend the flange, and I'll beat on that a little bit more, straighten it out a little bit more, but I got my flange cut off, and I'm kind of mocking it, and I'm gonna throw the fire to it now. Put a couple tacks in here, and we'll see what that looks like. I'll just put a couple tacks, maybe like 4 or 5 tacks here, and I'll maybe go ahead and do this front side over here too, and we'll set it back down and see what it looks like. But that's the plan. Okay, I got a freaking, it's just too much gap in here, so I'm going to fill this, or I don't know, do something to kind of fill in there. It's just too much to weld, but you know, just kind of tacked it here and here, you know, and now we got a flange back on this thing again. It's pretty good, so we'll see. I'm going to set it in the back of the car and see how it looks, and then we'll do the other side. Well, I'm sitting here and just kind of letting things cool from a good distance, because, you know, that's about 10 feet between me and that welding that I'm doing on that flange right there. And from here, 10 feet, it looks pretty good, right? So about as close as I really want to get. Let's see, let's go to 2 times zoom. Uh-oh, not looking great. Let's go 3 times zoom. Uh-oh, it's something. You know, 5 times zoom. Eesh. Jeez Louise. Okay. Alright, well, I don't know. Keep trying, young man. I'm getting there. I mean, I'll eventually get it. It does have to cool down right now. I'll go back here and add some more in there and grind and make it pretty and come from the back side and weld the back side. But I think I'll eventually get it. It'll actually be pretty freaking cool. I just got to do it again. It's a pretty long process to get it done, but it's getting there. Okay, doing the back side of it. Backside a little bit more respectable. I mean, to be fair, I cleaned it up and it's, not pretty, but it's definitely very sufficient, especially for a bracket. You know what I mean? I'm gonna clean that up a little bit and then I'm quitting for the night and heading to North Carolina tomorrow. Okay, so it's kind of crummy. I got a hole up there, but it's not a hole all the way through, but it's pretty good, right? I have to kind of clean it up the back side. It's definitely, this is the back side, it's a flange. So, this is what we're, I hit stop on my recorder. That's what we're working with. It's definitely solid, It's gonna hold a seat platform down. I'm pretty pumped with that. That's a good fix. Happy with it. Now it's gonna do it on this side and it'll be right, but I can't do that right now. I gotta stop for the night. So here's the thing, working on this hand and cut that down and kind of reproduce it. I'll add a bit of an angle, whatever. But look at this, man. I've got this fitting better than it ever did. I've got this is the backside. This is the backside. I haven't even welded this yet, but nice penetration, right, from the other side. Of course, today's the day I run out of gas, so I was like, oh man, I'm splattering everywhere. It's not pretty. So I'm gonna run off and give me some more gas. Hopefully, at Tractor Supply, I can exchange that bottle. But I did got this thing tacked on. This was the first one I did. It was like, it's okay, but it's a lot of crap I did to get that one on there. I go and put this flange on there what I do for a living is put flanges on. I had to kind of bend it a little bit to get it to fit the car. And this little spot here where it's bent like that. That's perfect. I did that on purpose to match the indent in the floorboard. But if you remember when these seat risers, and we can show it on the other one, but these things are coming up and it's not even connected. I mean, this thing, I don't even know what it does, to be quite honest with you, because I don't feel like this pan would flex a lot. But I'm like, okay, well, I'll put it back in place, and then I'm gonna go and drop some welds in here. But this thing should be like legit strong and definitely fits into the car really nice. This is a kind of a crinkled up mess here, but hammer dolly that straight, but it's already fit and just kind of prettied it up a little bit. But this is gonna work. This is, go ahead. I've got some pretty nice fabrication going on here, so I'm pretty pumped with it. So I'll show you when I get this thing finished up, and then we'll show the fit. Okay, so I think I about got this one about done. I'm gonna do a little bit more, but yeah, I kind of cleaned it up. I mean, it's not perfect. This welding, the welding's perfect. It really is kind of perfect, but it ain't perfect looking. But it's a freaking seat riser, so I'm not gonna work so much. But got the flashlight here just to show you. Look, got no pinholes in there. Oops. Okay, well, I mean, that's me turning the flashlight, but yeah, that's good, right? No pinholes up in there. See? And that's before, I haven't even welded the back side of it yet. Hold on a minute. Let me flip this thing around. So, yeah, see, I haven't even, I'm gonna drop some welds in here on the back side right now, but I got really good penetration. I don't even know, I might not, but it's so freaking good. So good penetration all the way through there. Obviously, I think I might just clean it up and call it good. But yeah, I feel like when it comes to little wins like this, I feel like Happy Gilmore, when he finally learns how to putt. If somebody learned to do decent welding, that will be good enough. Yeah, anyways, there we go. Now, just got to come and, what's up, baby? Just got to come. That was going to sit right in here. It's going to sit great. Now I just got to do it again. So I think I'll bring you back once I've cut this one down, do all the same stuff I did over there on that, do it again before I weld anything in place, and I'll kind of show you the fit. I will show you one thing real quick. Just remember this. We'll come back to showing this. So this is the fit as of now. Look, big gaps, right? I mean, big gaps. This is just, look, I can stick my finger. Look how far I can stick my finger underneath here right now. Holy crap, I can put a hand up in here. This is where it's sitting naturally. And so I can stick my finger in everywhere. This is that bracket sticking out. And this is that same bracket that hasn't been molested yet. So, you know, take a look at the before, and I'll show you the after in the next video clip. Okay, I think we can bring this saga to an end. You know, it's not beautiful, but who cares? This is very solid, no holes. Again, recap, took full height seat pans, cut the flange off, set that aside, then cut it down. Took said flanges, welded them back in. That's what this weld is. Welded front and back on them. I had to definitely cut on the side over here and kind of, you know, not so pretty, reflange this. It goes up against the transmission tunnel. Same thing on the back side here. It's a funky little deal here. But I also had to cut these down. These weren't going to fit in here anymore. I don't even know what they did. Like I said, they were a full inch of space. So now it's welded there. I had some space here, so I just didn't even put my weld in there. My God, there was nothing there before. It's super. What do you think about that weld? Look at that. Woo! Coming on out with the bubble gum there a little bit, but whatever. I don't care. It's welded. Same thing over here. It's pretty hunky little spot there, but it ain't going nowhere, trust me. This fits better now than it did originally. I don't know. I mean, it's really in good shape. So this was actually the passenger that I had modified first, but we will drop these in. One-handed work. There's something about there-ish. Okay. And then we got them both in, you know. No, this is not sitting right there, guys. See, it's sitting pretty daggone good there now. And I'm gonna beat and bang on it just a little bit. The driver's side, I did this second over here. I don't even know if I said it earlier in the video, but you know, I lazy proofed this. Did the passenger first. I know me. If I'd done the driver's first, which was the most important one because I'm the driver, then I would have been like, good enough over there and let it ride. But lazy proof it, do the passenger first. And so I've pulled my laser level, and I mean, they're within a 1/16 of an inch from each other, so it's really good. Look at this. I mean, it's on the floor here. Remember all the big gaps I had? Still a little bit of gapping right there. But I think I can kind of just bend the flange down, but look, can't get nothing in there now. Yeah, look how nice and tight that is. Holy moly, I know what I'm doing. So, anyways, I'm going to call that done, that project done, and we'll call that a success. I mean, I think I saved the money of buying the other pan, and I actually think I got a little bit more out of it by me modifying over buying the convertible pans. So I'm stoked with it. I'm happy with it. I'm as happy as I can be with it. I've gotten all I can get out of it. I mean, that's still going to be tight for me. I'm going to stick the old rat trap over here. I'm going to stick that in here, and Maybe even throw a couple bolts on from underneath so I can, like, for real sit in it. I don't know, because I'd like to do that before I weld it, so maybe I'll just set it in there again and try it. But yeah, it should be better, you know. But anyways, we'll call that little project done. That's cool. So this is actually the first real modification that I've made to the car, in that this wasn't the way they were supposed to be. I did something different. You know, I think, excuse me, it'd be hard for anyone to tell that I did anything different by just looking at this car, but, you know, I did. Because like I said in the beginning, I'd really like to drive this car, so I had to do something. Anyways, there you go.